So March 31st, 1848 was the start of modern spiritualism. And today, we celebrate the beginning of this wonderful religion by reading a text adapted from the book, The History of American Spiritualism. This is one of 12 books written by Emma Britton Harding. She was one of the pioneers of spiritualism, and she was known as the greatest woman propagandist spiritualism ever had. In what I'm about to recite, there is a reference to Summerland. And Summerland is Andrew Jackson Davis's name for paradise or the spirit world. And as you may know, Andrew Jackson Davis is the father of modern spiritualism. Let's begin. It is a time-honored custom, the nations of the earth, to celebrate the birthday of great and good personages and to set aside as holidays those dates which mark important events, national, political, and religious, so that they may be observed annually with appropriate ceremonies. The celebration perpetuates their remembrances and secures them the respect and veneration that their merits demand. We are gathered here today to celebrate a most important event that happened in a humble cottage in the obscure hamlet of Hydesville, New York, on March 31st, 1848. An event that was the beginning of the now worldwide religious and scientific movement to become known as modern spiritualism. It was on this day and in this home that intelligent communication was established between the young Fox sisters, Margaretta and Catherine, who were then living in this cottage with their parents, and the spirit of a man named Charles B. Rosna, who some years before had been murdered in the cottage, and his remains were buried in the cellar. In every civilized country on the face of the globe, this golden dawn of a new era is commemorated annually. The professed spiritualists, it is true, are still comparatively few, but the work of demonstrating the fact of the continuity of life has been going on silently. There are thousands upon thousands of people who are convinced of the genuineness of spirit phenomena and the philosophy underlying them, who still lack the courage to make their affirmation. The time is not far off when multitudes of grateful people will celebrate with praise and thanksgiving the birth of this new dispensation, which replaced promises with facts and faith with knowledge. It is the mission of spiritualism to revolutionize the world and to sweep away the accumulated rubbish of centuries of ignorance and superstition. It has come into the world as a light bearer to those who sit in the midst of darkness and desolation. revealing unto them a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwellers righteousness. It has come in answer to the earnest, intense longing of human hearts everywhere, and has shown that there is a higher and diviner life within reach to all. That none are so unfortunately circumstanced, none even the lowest and most degraded of all humanity. There is within each a spark of divinity that shall ultimately triumph over all hostile environments and bring forth from the crude and evolving condition the perfected person, the aspiring and the ascending angel. Spiritualism has come as a messenger of light and gladness to the bereaved and desolate, who, like Rachel of old, are mourning for their loved ones and refuse to be comforted. It also rolled away the stone of chambers and has said unto the mourning, Behold, your loved ones have risen. With the light of eternal truth, it has demonstrated the existence of the spiritual world, of life and beauty all around you, awaiting the coming of this angel to give you spiritual sight and hearing, that you might perceive its divine harmonies. As the click of Morse telegraph instrument, when it spelled out the first words, "What hath God wrought?" the first message sent over the wire foreshadowed the doom of humanity's fixed ideas of intercommunication. So the raps at Hydesville foretold the passage of many false theological doctrines, which had for centuries been taught to be infallible truths. A new gospel of love, justice, and mercy supplanted the old dogmas of a wrathful God and eternal punishment. Voices from the spirit side of life echoed songs of gratitude and happiness, and that there was still another chance of Earth's unfortunate children to retrieve their mistakes and commence anew in higher life. These spirit messages spread rapidly, like lightning over the whole civilized world. They are the heaven of truth, which shall eventually permeate all systems of religious thought, all forms of government, and all forms of scientific research. It will shape and mold them so as to give them the highest expression to all that is noble and divine to humanity. Since the advent of modern spiritualism, 4 million human beings who were bought and sold as the beasts in the field have been liberated from the shackles of slavery by liberty-loving spirits, who through the medium Nettie Colburn Maynard counseled that grand, wise, and tender-hearted man, Abraham Lincoln, to not hesitate in the work he must do. Furthermore, Alexander II of Russia, by request of his father, Nicholas I, freed 20 million serfs. The great genius Thomas Edison, to whom the world is indebted for so many valuable inventions. Said on one occasion, our brains are like records that take impressions from the environment. We get nothing from within. People say that I have created things. I have never created anything. I get impressions from the universe at large and work them out. We are not always conscious of being guided by unseen powers. Many would scowl at that very suggestion. Yet, conscious or not, humanity at large represents only the outward effects of the great invisible world of cause operating upon and through it. History proves clearly that there always have been people who recognized spiritual guidance and direction. Through all the ages of the past of which humanity has any record, be it either the written testimony of reliable witnesses or the legendary fragments transmitted verbally from parents to children, history has revealed the fact of spirit communication, having been received by all nations and peoples on this planet. Spiritualism has been reserved for spiritual man and woman of the present to obtain clearer views, more perfect knowledge, loftier ideals, and conceptions of life, physical and spiritual, than those of any preceding age. The invisible world is daily more visible and real. Its divine harmonies are vibrating through every sympathetic heartthrob of those whose souls are attuned to its receptivity. In the daily experience of every individual comes little things, unimportant in themselves, but often mixed with much joy and sorrow to one or many. The spirit friends voice their messages in various and often peculiar ways. It may be a careless word spoken without thought or meaning by some friends, and yet prove a message to you sufficient to change the whole current of your life. It may be a song or a piece of music from some grand organ that spoke to you, more than anthem or sermon, because it voiced the guardian angel's message in a language that you could understand and interpret. In all the departments of life, in every issue involving the highest interest of humankind, the influence of spiritualism has entered with its benign and progressive light. Beginning at the fireside of the humble home with innocent children as its gospels, it has spread over the whole world to the homes of peasants and the palaces of kings. It has entered the halls of the learning, courts of justice, pulpits of other faiths, legislative assemblies, and scientific circles. It has left a glimmer of its brightness and reflection, of its beauty everywhere. Spiritualism is universal in its application. Spiritualism treats all equally. The high and the low, the rich and the poor, all come with its within its encircling arms. Spiritualism teaches continuous, progressive unfoldment. It does not project to the aspiring mind, be content, remain where you are. The past holds all the ideals you need or should imitate. Rather, it teaches, use your mind, cultivate your skill, develop your soul powers, climb the heights and fear not. The universe and its glories are your heritage. Build your home among the stars. Today, we behold the harvest that the hard workers who have transitioned to higher life have prepared. As we gather in the golden sheaves, let us also sow the seed for future harvests. Today holds the fulfillment of the promise of yesterday and is the prophecy of tomorrow. Judging from its manifold victories, its blessings and triumphs, its achievements in the field of spiritual and scientific research, it's created light and knowledge of the heretofore mysteries and incomprehensible country to which our loved ones departed. When the awful silence of death fell upon them, what may we not hope for and expect tomorrow? Already, do we feel the ecstasy of the coming day, throbbing and beating in the bosom of the present? The present hour unveils the unrevealed and hidden glory awaiting the fullness of time to gladden the hearts of all humanity and fill the whole earth with its indescribable splendor. The gates, which were just ajar in 1848, are now wide open, and coming and going upon the golden stairway are the shining feet of angels bearing their messages of love to all of us. Listening, we can hear the sweet songs of gladness. Looking, we can behold their radiant faces beaming with love and tenderness upon us, and recognize among the happy throng the darlings of our hearts and homes, who have only gone before us, leaving the door open behind them, through which our longing eyes can follow them until they rest upon the flower-decked borders, the evergreen mountains, the silver seas, beautiful islands, and the glowing love-lit skies of the glorious Summerland. Amen.